So I use Maria here to start off. Maria has pretty robust capabilities, both from an admin and user perspective. I think there's kind of multiple messagings that go on here. One, that this is a modern application, right? That it has things like built-in business intelligence and talking about what benefits of that, and built-in dashboarding. It's got collaboration. It's a flexible application where you can change. You can change the look, the feel, the interaction to match your business environment, to be able to match your business, processes. Second being, I always like to mention Hyperion is such a powerful and well-respected technology that, it's built on our EPM platform, our Hyperion platform. And also then I'll go in and talk about, the process, and just to say, it's a full reconciliation software. So when we talk about being able to get data, to be able to map that data, to load it in, to perform a reconciliation, and then be able to automatically complete the reconciliation for accounts like that have zero balance and others and some of the subsystem matches. After doing the manual reconciliation, we have the ability to go in and make manual adjustments and start doing collaboration, making assignments of the reconciliation, having approvers, doing email notifications, dashboard notifications, tracking work, looking at completions, and being able to really get an overall enterprise look at our position, at our reconciliations, and be able to track progress over time. And again, see who is completing their work, who isn't, who may be struggling, and where we need to focus our resources. Again, I'll come into here and talk about, we can have the ability to do announcements. So we can do all our communications. We do communications through the application itself, through emails. It's very collaborative. We're all working in one environment. We're all working on one source of truth, getting the notifications. And then I'll talk a little bit about these, aspects of being able to coordinate your work, both through workflow and through notification. Going to dashboards, excuse me. I think this is usually the first place I start. And go over these particular dashboards and what they mean and how we can look and see at any point in time where our position is. Where are we on time? What hasn't been completed? I want to be able to look by account type in this case, risk rating, because that's one of the things they mentioned in their requirements, organization, and again, be able to sort by by account and such. And then being able to go in and look if we want by particular positions. So, how are we doing in terms of our overall compliance as an organization? And you'd be able to look at that by month, by period that we're tracking. And then again, being able to do it by user, by review, by order, and to be able to, again, kind of drill down if we want all of these being drillable. We may want to show some of those to the individual details. So really getting a complete look from a work aspect and from a performance aspect of what's going on in our organization. And now kind of stepping down to more of an activity level, being able to look, again, really from two perspectives. One, monitoring work and what's going on, but also having controls, right? Being able to audit controls, looking at every activity that occurs within the system and being able to capture it, and be able to capture, for example, all the activity here. We're looking for Amy and the activity she's undertaken in the last day, to be able to control that. We can do this based on, activity. We also have the ability from an auditing standpoint to design what a user can do, right? What forms can they go in? What activities can they perform? What data can they see? And be able to monitor that. And I always mention that from a control aspect. That process may also feed into the ability to provide auditor roles that allow for paperless audits and providing online access and notes and regulations. That may be something where we talk about creating a role for an auditor and then giving him the appropriate or her the appropriate access to be able to do those functions. And we have our flexible security model that allows us to do that. And then go into reconciliations, right? And probably key is being able, to talk about these in terms of here's my work list. So being able to modify the work list, based on setting up filters, the ability to create and show predefined filters, right? Again, here's just my work list, so I know what I need to work on. Here's a summary. All of this being drillable, so I can drill to the individual transactions or the reconciliations. Again, here I am for more of a transaction view, looking at all my reconciliations, what the status is, and where they're at. I have multiple ways to look at this. Group view, compact view, you may want to show some of that. Right? Show the ability to create filters on here and add additional filters, right? Be able to sort if you want by the individuals. Some of this they ask about is related to the ability to do filtering and reporting capabilities. And really I like to talk a lot about that. You have reporting capabilities, but you also have reporting capabilities and sorting and such within the application itself, right? Again, you probably want to open one of these up from this standpoint because you'll be able to hit, I think, a lot of their issues or a lot of their requirements. Again, here, talking about risk rating and some of the other things that they look at, the ability to classify these reconciliations and to be able to add attributes. In this case, we had audit sample, reviewer, and the fact that you could add, other attributes. Looking at the balance summary, and you probably want to have some, questions on here, right? Some collaborative stuff, and talk about that. They can, conform that to their business processes. The workflow, this is a good place to talk about workflow. Because clearly they want to know, is this work? They had one requirement that was around flex, something with workflow. You can do attachments in here. This might be a good place to just do an attachment and talk about that. And you talk about your comments. So you can, I think within here, you can probably hit, automatic review of workflows with proper segregation of duties. This might be a good place to hit a lot of these individual, requirements. And then just go into adjustments. And I would talk about maybe set up just an adjustment, just to show them how it would be done. And you can even do the associated action plans, with it, and talk about the relevance of those. And then again, the history, when we talk about auditing, right? And you can go in and show them the action, again, being able to reassign, open a reconciliation, right? Close. I'm going to go back. I think they had, again, you can go down to the transactions here and the taskings. I think they also wanted the fact that you could go in here and then, oops, I don't want to do that, but do like multiple, I want to do that, but go in and do multiple, I think, transactions, or be able to take multiple transactions and be able to do export. I got kicked out here, or import transactions. I think that's probably within the reconciliation screen is a good place to do that. So I think with just those items, you can kind of go and really hit a lot of their individual requirements, and then kind of from there, I think, jump out and say, okay, now we looked at this, now let's step back and look at transaction monitoring. Right. And then, I guess in this case, probably I'll go into, let's say, reconciliations here. Again, being able to show, hey, I can come in here, and this actually probably is a good place to show them where they can go in, run auto match, edit the rules and such, right? Open one of these up, review the individual tabs in it. This is really nice, I think. Be able to talk about, where you are in terms of your balances, the transactions, being able to drill down into this. My system's a little bit slow. Looking at the clearing accounts, right? Being able to talk about all the adjustments. I would really go through all these. I think these are probably a good way for them. In this case, be able to do your math. You've done your reconciliation. You've run your reconciliation to be able to do your adjustments and your manual matching, right? Right, and to kind of go through all your matches, history. Right, you can close that. That's actually a good place to go. Maybe go into the console. And again, show them where things have been run, where you can run things, where you can import transactions, run the auto match, right? And show them that they can be run and grouped, in this case by reconciliation type, right? Do you want to run auto match with it? And then going into tools. What also I would hit right off the front page, and I should have done this, but the Academy, when I was in the home page, I think that's pretty powerful, where you can navigate to the Academy, have topics, and then be able to discuss how you do that. And again, I would go into here and show one of these. Again, I wouldn't be creating much because of the time frame that you have, but show the reconciliation type, how you do your data sources and such, transaction types, and that's probably a good way to I think answer a lot of these in terms of zero balance, maintaining reconciliation assignments and such. The seamless integration, you'll just have to talk about our ability to have adapters, because I'm not really familiar with this Mitchell-Humphrey system, but clearly we have adapters. We can take flat files and just upload them. I assume that's probably what we would do with the Mitchell-Humphrey system.